150. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. We welcome you to Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. Just a beautiful day here in the southern part of Virginia. Temperature 71 degrees, partly cloudy, 40% humidity, and absolutely no, I said no, chance of rain. Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Punch, and welcome to our ESPN Speed World coverage of NASCAR Dash Series racing. For the first time in 11 years, we're going to have live coverage of the subcompact sedans. In fact, their first visit to this speedway in almost 9 years. This series began back in western North Carolina in the early 70s, an outgrowth of the mini-stock competition, the 4 cylinders running on the short tracks, and it has become more and more popular ever since. Joining me as always, two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett. And Ned, this series began years ago, and a lot of drivers we know today in Winston Cup actually started here.
Several drivers who are established now in Winston Cup racing, Michael Waltrip, Hut Strickland, Phil Parsons, and Morgan Shepherd even won in this series a number of years ago. So it is a good stepping stone for drivers, maybe more for the Busch series than directly into Winston Cup racing. They love to come here to Martinsville because it's another track that if they do make it to Winston Cup one day, that they'll be racing on. And John Kernan, I'm sure there's some in the field here today that are looking to Winston Cup.
You're exactly right, Ned. There are several drivers in the field today who want to make the step up to Busch racing, then possibly on the Winston Cup. And leading the way is George Crenshaw. He is starting this race from the pole today. He's also the brother-in-law of defending Busch Grand National champion Joe Nemechek. George will run for Rookie of the Year next year on the Busch Grand National circuit. He even plans to be back here at Martinsville in 2 weeks to run in the Busch race that weekend. Now, another driver to keep an eye on, the only woman in the field, Sherry Blakely. She plans to move up too. In fact, her sponsor, Lakina Inns, say, hey, Sherry, we want to see you in Busch Grand National racing. So they're sponsoring her for one event this year. Sherry says all they have to do is pick out the event. Now, for more on this, let's go further down the starting grid to Benny Parsons.
Hey, John, we still got some guys that set in the mark. You're talking about new guys, but we've got some fellas that's been here a good while. Larry Caudill first ran this division in 1974. Max Wayne ran in 1982. Qualifying up in the 3rd spot, we've got Mickey York, the defending series champion. He started running this series in 1977. So why are they doing it? This is their golf game. They don't go out to the country club on Saturday and Sunday and play golf. They come to the racetracks where their friends are, and they're still running well enough. These young fellas, these are some cars they're going to have to beat.
Indeed, Benny, quite a competitive field, this NASCAR Goodys Dash Series. In fact, how competitive is it? Take a look at the point standings here just after 4 events. A rookie leads the points. Will Hobgood at 629 points, an 11-point bulge over Mickey York, last year's champion. Larry Caudill, the veteran, in 3rd. There's a young lady, Sherry Blakely, in 4th. And Maxie Bush is 5th. 6 through 10, Scott Weaver. Johnny Smith, a tie for 8th between Rodney Orr, last year's most popular driver, and Lee Farthing. And Kerry Earnhardt. Yes, another Earnhardt generation heads into racing, NASCAR style. We'll be back with the starting lineup and the green flag after this. Getting set for 150 laps of racing on this beautiful half-mile facility in Martinsville, Virginia. H. Clay Earl is the owner here, always one of the most comfortable and accommodating tracks on the NASCAR Tour. Our Speed World coverage of the NASCAR Goodys 150 from Martinsville is being brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. By Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when. The field, some 26 strong, lined up on pit road. The NASCAR Goodys officials getting set for what should be an exciting day. The series director is Wayne Ogden. Taking a look inside, there is Larry Caudill, the 44-year-old veteran, 2-time series champion. He will start his car back in the 10th spot. Our course description here at Martinsville Speedway. Take a look at our pole speed, 84.865 miles per hour. The pole time, 22.313 seconds. Race length, 150 laps. Field separation, 1.04 seconds. It is a perfect oval here. Very long straightaways and very tight turns. The banking in turns 1 and 2, a very slight 12 degrees. The premium here is on handling, getting the car in and getting it turned off turn 2. The up 800-foot back straightaway, 800 feet. Speeds for these cars over 100 miles per hour. Again, turns 3 and 4 banked identically at 12 degrees. And coming out of turn 4, the front stretch is at symmetrical 800 feet. Let's take a look at this very competitive starting grid on the front row. A new track record for George Crenshaw out of Lakeland, Florida in the Campbell Soup Pontiac. Alongside him, Maxie Bush in the car number 22. Row 2 has Mickey York and Scott Weaver.
Row 3 is Will Hopgood, the points leader, and Ernest Winslow. Row 4, Johnny Smith and Danny Bagwell.
Back to row 5, Mike Watts, a former two-time winner. There's a two-time national champion, Larry Caudill. Row 6 has Mike Swaim, also a two-time champion, and Lee Farthing.
In row 7, we have Johnny Chapman, a former champion of the series, and Kerry Earnhardt, son of Dale Earnhardt. And row 8, Sherry Blakely, the only lady in the field, and Rodney Orr.
Back to row 9, Danny Snell and Stephen Durham. Row 10 is Chris Brown and Ben Dungan.
Row 11, we have Dan Pardis and Stanton Barrett. Row number 12, Donnie Neuenberger and Fleet Cruz.
And starting in row 13, 2 provisional starters, Red Sink and Carl Jennings. Neither one of these drivers qualified today's field, so they will start in 25th and 26th spot by virtue of a provisional starting position. Mentioned again that the qualifying speed here, was a track record 84.865 miles per hour. In fact, they have not run here, as we said earlier in the show, for some 9 years, almost a mile per hour faster than they were here in 84.
And of course, the cars have changed a lot since then, and the racetrack is still basically the same, but a lot more technology in these cars now than they had 9 years ago when they were here at Martinsville.
A couple of in-car cameras today. You're going to be riding along with Ernest Winslow out of Scotland Neck, North Carolina, 30-year-old driver in the Port Racing Chevrolet. Yes, it's Port Racing. We'll tell you more about that later. And here's the car number 77, Larry Caudill out of Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and his Motorola Trojan Chevrolet sponsored Pontiac. In-car cameras in these 2,600-pound machines. We told you they are inline 4-cylinder engines, generating about 300 horsepower. In fact, let's take a look at the specs on these cars to show you how we compare these cars maybe with the Winston Cup cars, which are much bigger in far as size and engine. They are 4-cylinder engines, 2-barrel carburetors. There's the horsepower, wheelbase 100 inches, weight 2,600 pounds, and the fuel capacity, Ned, just an 8-gallon fuel cell.
Yes, that's quite different from Winston Cup, which carried 22 gallons of gasoline. Of course, these cars, 4 cylinders, don't burn nearly as much gasoline. Now, that top speed, 170, I believe that's just a little bit off. They don't run that fast down the straightaways here at Martinsville.
But that's the speed they could run. In fact, at Daytona, on the pole, Lee Farthing ran over 161 miles per hour, so they were clocked at over almost 170 in the backstretch. So they won't run that quick today, as you said, Ned, but they speeds, even though they're 4 cylinders, they are pretty high-performance machines. Pontiac safety car, Pontiac Trans Am. The lights have been extinguished in that car, and we will have the green flag next time by from Jimmy Howell. Glad to have you with us, John Kernan, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you NASCAR Goodies Dash Series competition.
There were 5 drivers who did not make the field here. There were Gary Moore, Carl Jennings, and I beg your pardon, Carl Jennings got in on a provisional, Tom Robinson, and Randy Croft, and Head Holowak, is that the way you pronounce his name? So they had to go home since they didn't run fast enough to make the field.
Very competitive field here. George Crenshaw, his 6th career pole in the Goodies Dash Series. Alongside him, Maxie Bush, the 1992 winner of the Florida 200 at Daytona. Out of turn 4, Jimmy Howell set to wave the green flag as the field comes by 2 by 2. Maxie Bush tries to get the advantage heading into turn 1.
Got off to a good start and takes the lead.
Bush by 3 car lengths in Crenshaw. The battle now is for 3rd spot as now Mickey York falls back in behind the car number 2 of Scott Weaver, headed for turn 4.
Good battle here. The car number 65 of Will Hopgood trying to move up on the car number 10 of Danny Bagwell, but Bagwell beats him into turn 3.
Now Bagwell trying to make a move beside the Port Racing car, and they come together in turn 1. Ernest Winslow just holds his line. That's one of our camera cars. Bagwell hits the brakes and falls back in line.
These cars are smaller, of course, than Busch Grand National or Winston Cup cars, and I'm sure when a little hole opens up, it's tempting to jump in there, but there was not enough room that time for Bagwell.
Now you're riding with the North Carolina Pork Producers machine. That's Chevrolet, car number 68, Ernest Winslow. Pork farmer out of Scotland Neck, North Carolina. There's the car number 10 right behind him. You get a good shot at the Ford of Danny Bagwell.
There, there's one car number 19. Rick Stink has a flat right front tire. He was one of the drivers that got in on a provisional, and he's going very slowly down into turn 1. There you can see the right front tire is flat on this car.
Yeah, he's a driver from Jacksonville, Florida. He's an operations man for Outback Steakhouses up in Jacksonville, Florida, and likes to get involved in racing. And had trouble qualifying. He got that car on the curb and may have had a tire leaking down before the race. But whatever the reason, he is now pulling back on the pit road.
Well, that lead that Maxie Busch had built up has dwindled now as Crenshaw has caught him, looking for a place to pass as they come off of turn 4. These front 4 cars have sort of broken away from the 5th place car, the car number 10 of Mr. Bagwell.
Good-looking car for Maxie Busch, our leader up front. Battles all over the racetrack. Here's Will Hopgood, our current point leader, one of the rookie drivers, but also leading the points as they are battling back for the 6th and 7th position.
Hopgood gets a nose under the car number 68 of Ernest Winslow going into turn 1, but he can't. Has to back off. Can't make the pass. Looks like Hopgood has good traction coming off the turns, but not getting into the turns quite as good as Winslow.
And the battle now heats up front for 3rd spot. The car number 2 on the outside making a run. That's Scott Weaver out of Shelby, North Carolina. Just 24 years of age, the Bullfrog Sunblock Chevrolet. He has the high route around the defending series champion, Mickey York, but York just powers the way into turn 3.
Boy, he drove her deep into that turn, and it stuck with him, too. He wanted to get there before that car number 47 that they were putting a lap on, another of those provisional drivers. That's Carl Jennings. He was down on the inside of the track.
And Mickey York showing a lot of muscle in that Billy Knight prepared engine. Here's the cars 11, 21, and 77. They are 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's Mike Watts in the 11 car. The 21 car, 2-time series champion Mike Swaim, and Larry Caudill in the car number 77, the Motorola Pontiac, back in 11th position.
Larry has been associated with racing radios and Motorola for a number of years and has performed a great service to many people in racing with radios.
Certainly has. He was a 2-time national champion here in 87 and 88, talking about the driver of that bright orange and white numeral 77 there. He was the most popular driver in this series in 1990 as Mike Swaim gets the attention of Mike Watts with a little bumper tag from that Dodge. Larry Caudill took a couple of years off, was a late model stock car champion up at Benny Yutt's Hickory Speedway back in 1991. And now is back running a limited schedule, I'm told, or in fact, he may run the full series this year in Goodys Dash competition. And back up front, Maxie Busch, car number 22 from Canesti, South Carolina, the Purple Power Ford, showing the way here in the early laps at Martinsville, Virginia. Back with more after this. At Martinsville Speedway for the NASCAR Goodys Dash Series Haynes 150 here at Martinsville, Virginia. Under caution for the first time today, incident just moments ago by this young driver. The color is familiar, the number is familiar, and yes, it is an Earnhardt, but it's Kerry Earnhardt, 23-year-old son of Dale. Here's what happened just moments ago.
Well, he comes down on the inside going into turn 3, Jerry, on the inside of the car number 25, and I think his left wheel perhaps hits a curbing. Well, maybe not. He slid up just barely touching the car number 25 of Lee Farthing, and he got down on the grass, and I don't think he did a lot of damage. Of course, sometimes when you go over that curbing, which is on the inside of the track here at the Martinsville Speedway. It can do some damage, but he seems to be going okay now.
And here's a car on pit road, an unscheduled pit stop for the car number 77, Larry Caudill. John Kernan is there. John?
Well, Larry developed a miss in the car, so they checked the spark plug wires. They've also checked the ignition box, and we'll just have to wait and see if that fixed the problem. But Larry developing a miss. This is a good break for him. The caution fell when it did, so he could come on in and pit under green. He also took on fuel. Should make note, on fuel day, it can only go about 90 to 100 laps with that 8-gallon fuel cell. So most of the plans, guys, that I had heard was after lap 50 to 60, we would start seeing some pit stops.
And we are still under caution for the first time today due to a spin up in turns 3 and 4. Back with more Goodys Dash Series action from Martinsville. After this, stay with us. And of course, our Winston Cup coverage coming to your way on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. from right here at Martinsville Speedway. We've got an exciting one right here as they are just bobbing and weaving through turns 3 and 4. The car number 02 nearly losing it. That's Fleet Cruz, one of the Dash Series regulars.
He did a good job of getting it back under control. Here's the leader. That's Maxie Bush. Pulled away a little bit now from the car 07 of George Crenshaw. Crenshaw was working on him pretty good before the caution came out, but Maxie got a good jump on the start of the race.
There's George Crenshaw and the Campbell's Soup-sponsored car number 07. He was our pole sitter and a brand new track record in that Pontiac. Pretty good battle back here involving the car number 11 of Mike Watts. He's the black machine there. They're going around Fleet Cruz. Car number 02. They're back in 9th and 10th spot. Car number 21 behind him is the 10th place car. That is Mike Swain. That's a Dodge Daytona prepared by David Watson out of Boone, North Carolina. Of course, David Watson, a veteran car owner in this series, and has prepared many cars for series champions over the years, including Mike Swain, who is driving that car today.
Good close racing here. Car number 9, of course, is Rodney Orr. He's right in the thick of that battle.
Rodney Orr out of Palm Coast, Florida. Wrigley from Robinson,
they came up on the car number 55 running slow down on the inside. That was Ben Duncan, and they had to hit their brakes. They were a couple of car lengths away from Duncan, but they hit their brakes and touched, and we got trouble.
And you see the sheet metal damage on Rodney Orr's car. Robbinsville, North Carolina native originally. He has that car number 9, that Pontiac Sunbird, coming around to take the yellow flag, and we'll see if he can make it to pit road. Here's what happened once again.
Well, they had been racing very, very close with that. There's the 55 that I mentioned, and the car 02 ran in there and I think hit his brakes. He was coming up on the Duncan car pretty quickly, and the 9 car had nowhere to go, and he hit the car 02, and that's the sheet metal damage that we see. We'll look at it again from a different angle, and the 02 maybe clipped the 11 car just a little bit. He wanted to go on the outside of the 55 car, but couldn't. The Ben Duncan car, the number 55, had been in the pits for quite a while. He's from Catawba, North Carolina. He's a body man for Rick Mast on the Skoal Classic Ford that runs in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Let's go to the pits from John Kernan.
Well, Larry Caudill made 2 stops on pit road under that last caution. He will now come in one more time. As he ran by under speed, the car sounded like it was running on only 3 cylinders. Now he's over the line. Before they can work on the car, they're going to have to back it up or it will be a 1-lap penalty. So Larry's in there changing ignition boxes now. They've already checked the spark plug wires. If that doesn't fix it, possibly it could be a broken spark plug.
And the car sputtering as he leaves pit road. The car not appearing to be running under all 4 cylinders as he heads back to turn 1. We're under caution here at Martinsville Speedway. Back with more after this. Back at Martinsville Speedway for the Haynes 150. We're talking about car wars here on the short tracks, but what a battle we've got coming your way tonight. From the Aladdin Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, Budweiser presents Top Rank Boxing. How about 2-time world champion Roger Mayweather? The 10-round junior welterweight battle, he will be up against number 21 ranked Zach Padilla on the WBC. That's tonight at midnight on ESPN. Top Rank Boxing coming your way. We got a battle going on here on the short tracks.
Jerry, here's the car number 9 of Rodney Orr that was involved in the crash. The reason for the current caution, he has been in the pits several times, and they have torn the sheet metal away. Let's see if he comes back in this time. I think they're okay with it now. It looks like they've got most of that right front fender pulled away so that it won't rub a tire. He might not have done any other damage. It looks like he's pretty well set. All the wheels are pointed in the right direction, so that sheet metal damage might have been the extent of it.
He raced motorcycles, was a Honda factory team driver, an 86 national champion in motocross, talking about Rodney Orr in that car number 9. He told me when I met him yesterday, he said, "You don't remember me, but you sewed my knee together one time in Florida about 8 or 9 years ago in the emergency room, and I remember you back when I used to ride motorcycles and you used to play doctor for a living."
Well, here's the other car that was involved in that little altercation down there, Fleet Cruz. He, too, has been in, and they've done some work on his car, so I think we can expect both of those drivers to be coming up to the field because they were running in the top 10. As we see the signal there, one more lap to go, and we'll be back to green flag racing.
There have been 2 caution flags here in the first 31 laps. The first caution flag just a few laps ago for Kerry Earnhardt, sped up in turns 3 and 4. The latest caution flag, an incident down in turns 1 and 2 involving Fleet Cruz and a couple of other cars, Rodney Orr.
Well, you've seen Kerry Earnhardt pulled up on the inside. He did lose a lap when he spun down there, Jerry, so he would like to get that back. This is the best opportunity he's had. If he can beat Maxie Bush into turn 1 and stay in front of him and perhaps get another caution, he'd be okay. Let's see if he can do it. The green flag is waving, and he hasn't taken off yet, but Maxie Bush has.
Maxie Bush pushes the pedal on his purple power probe. Say that 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
That's a Ford probe out front for car number 22, Maxie Bush. Crenshaw in second spot. And one car has looped around the car number 47, Ned.
And that was one of the cars that had a provisional, Carl Jennings. Let's see, caution is waving again, so just quickly. Well, that would have been a great opportunity if Kerry Earnhardt could have gotten out in front of Maxie Bush and stayed there. When the caution come in this quick, he'd have got back in the lead lap. Now Jennings is getting his car to rolling. Sometimes you don't get as good traction on that grass as you would like. Certainly not as well as you do on asphalt because they run slick tires on these cars and they don't get a lot of traction.
Carl Jennings is 39 years old. It's his first year in dash competition. He's going to run for Rookie of the Year. Only his 3rd race. He didn't finish at Daytona and finished 9th down in Somerville. Here's again what may have happened to him.
This is from our speed shot off of turn 4. And there he is. Looks like he might have had a little bit of help from the dark blue car. In fact, that car was headed to the pits, Jerry, and I don't think Jennings knew that, and he came up on him and bumped him and caused Jennings to lose control, spun down in the grass.
Might have been Danny Snell, the car number 26, and now Jennings has made his way back to pit road. His Pontiac Sunbird doesn't look to be that heavily damaged. The crew now checking over the tires. Let's check into the pits once again with John Kernan on the Sherry Blakely car. John?
Well, Jerry, Sherry pitted under that last caution. It was precautionary. I was talking to her crew chief, Mike Pruitt, said she ran through some oil or something up on the racetrack and thought she had a tire going down, so she came into pit. They checked all 4 tires and sent Sherry back on her way, but she's back at the end of the pack.
Very competitive young lady from San Antonio, Texas, Sherry Blakely at 31 years of age, La Quinta in sponsoring her Chevrolet. She is currently 4th in the point standings, but she is 2nd in the rookie standings because our point leader, Will Hobgood, is also a rookie.
And he is currently being shown in the 6th position as we get ready to go green flag racing here once again. Kerry Earnhardt has pulled up on the inside of Maxie Bush.
Maxie Bush has 1 victory in 6 events last year, that coming at Daytona on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1992. He won the Florida 200. And he qualified on the outside front row at Daytona this year, had a great run. Finished 2nd down there to Will Hobgood.
Sure, they really have with these guys disciplined. They are pretty far off the turn 4 before they accelerate. Now, Kerry Earnhardt got a good jump that time. We'll see if it was too good of a jump because he got up alongside, in fact, got out in front of Maxie Bush, but now Bush moving back around him, so it was short-lived. This is him getting back in the lead lap.
There's the car number 10. It also got a pretty good run. Danny Bagwell, and Benny, he got a heck of a jump.
Jerry, I'm telling you what, he started 5th, and he went up to 2nd place. And somebody's getting black flag, but I don't think it's a 10 car. I think they said his jump Was good. So, man, oh man, what a start he got.
He really did, and I think the black flag was for somebody back in the field a little bit further. Benny, in fact, it's the car number 99, the Sherry Blakely car. Maybe she jumped the flag a little bit.
But Danny Bagwell's restart will stand, and he holds on now to second spot. Look again, a car number 10 on the restart.
You can see that's Earnhardt in the black car down on the inside, but look up on the outside, the white car coming up. Boy, he did get a great jump. And made it stick going in there on the outside.
And you got to give a call to George Crenshaw. He could have possibly tapped it going into one, but he backed off, so he has plenty of time yet to race today. Maxie Bush, though, he's taking advantage of that battle for second, third, and fourth spot between Bagwell, Crenshaw, and the car number 24 of Mickey York.
And Jerry, you see the car number 99 of Sherry Blakely down on the inside. She did come into the pit for a stop-and-go penalty, and she is now left down.
Now Crenshaw has the move on the inside out of turn 2, the 07, the Campbell Soup Colors, trying to move inside of the Ford of Bagwell. They are side by side in 3, and now Crenshaw has an advantage, and Mickey York will follow him in and take the third spot away.
Wow, here's some 3 wide racing. Are these turns wide enough to do that? There's trouble up between turns 3 and 4. The car number 14 has spun around. That's Donnie Neuenberger.
Right in front of the leaders, and Maxie Bush goes high and just misses the car number 14 of Neuenberger that was backing down across the racetrack, and now the rest of the field comes by. Here's Kerry Earnhardt as they get back to the start-finish line and take the caution flag for the 4th time. The 4th caution flag of the day with just 42 laps complete of this 150-lap Haynes 150 at Martinsville Speedway. Let's look again up in turns 3 and 4 of the car number 14.
Go down on the inside, perhaps hit the curbing a little bit there and just threw the balance off, and around he went.
So 30-year-old Danny Neuenberger has the caution flag put out for his spin up in turns 3 and 4. He is back in line. We'll be back with more from Martinsville after this. Back at Martinsville Speedway, 45 laps complete. Maxie Bush, our leader, but he's starting to get a challenge from last year's series champion. The Cobra Electronics Pontiac is coming in a hurry.
Mickey York, he got a good jump on the restart just a couple of laps ago, Jerry. And here's Maxie going high. Here comes York down on the inside. He wants to take the lead now, but I don't think he'll be able to do it.
Mickey York has won the last 2 in a row. He won at Somerville Speedway, Charlie Powell's facility in South Carolina back in March. He won at Volusia County Speedway back on April 10th, going for 3 in a row, but he just can't quite get beneath him there in turn 1. Watch him off turn 2.
Well, he gets good traction off the turns, Jerry. Maybe a little bit better than Maxie Bush, but Bush has some power out the straightaway. Now he tries to stick a nose under going into turn 3, but Bush closed the door on that.
Ford Probe is the leader. Pontiac, Sudburn running in second spot with Mickey York, 45-year-old veteran. And back in third spot is Crenshaw, George Crenshaw in the car number 07.
And you're looking at a field summary. There are 17 cars still in the lead lap, but a real battle for the lead, and we'll stay on that as you watch where your favorite driver is in the field. Crenshaw now beginning to move in a little bit on those front 2. And it looks like Maxie Bush's car might be getting a little bit loose, especially coming off the turns, Jerry. He's sliding just a little bit, but he's still able to maintain the lead.
Maxie Bush builds his own engines, 4-cylinder engines in that Ford Probe, showing a lot of horsepower. Here's a battle for 5th spot. Danny Bagwell in the car number 10, also involved in that battle, car number 2, Scott Weaver, and inside him, our point leader, Will Hobgood.
Hobgood had him passed one time just before the last caution came out and ran up on a lap car and had to back off. So he has really been working for that position.
That's the ProCal Roundtree racing machine of Will Hobgood. It's a Pontiac. And Kerry Earnhardt once again has spun up in turns 3 and 4. Nearly gets tagged by a couple slow cars. They split high and low. And he will bring out the caution flag for the 5th time. In fact, the 2nd caution flag of the day that he has brought out in the same position.
Well, that turn's not too good to him today. Take a look and see if we can see what happened. The car number 9 got down on the grass, came back up, and I think Earnhardt thought he was going to hit him, and he hit the brakes, and that's a bad place for somebody to get in trouble in front of you because you are braking heavy going in there, and I think he just hit the brakes a little bit harder, perhaps locked the wheels, and just went around on him.
Back with more from Martinsville Speedway dash competition after this. 50. Front two continue to be the car number 22 of Maxie Bush, and behind him is the car number 24, the Cobra Electronics Pontiac of Mickey York.
Now here's the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. The car number 10 of Danny Bagwell, the car number 2 of Scott Weaver, and the car number 65 of Will Hopgood. Here's Hopgood getting a nose up under Weaver, but still can't make the pass. He has worked awfully hard to get in the top 5, but he just can't get on the scoreboard.
Yellow car just coming in on the right side of your screen. That's Johnny Smith. He is the 7th place car.
White House. What's that, White House vinegar?
White House apple juice Pontiac.
Okay, okay, well, they make vinegar too. Yeah.
Right.
Pretty car.
I like to sip the apple juice a little better.
Okay.
Danny Bagwell leading that group up front. Maxie Bush holding off. Car number 24, Mickey York.
And York just really runs right up on him coming off the turn, and so does Will Hopgood running up on Scott Weaver. Almost pushes him up beside of the car number 10. Weaver's got a run on him going into turn 3, but has to back off. And here comes Hopgood down on the inside. He sees an opening, but can't capitalize on it. Now Scott Weaver's going to try to capitalize going into turn 1, but he backs off going in there. He has some running room. Now he gets on the inside and makes the pass. Here's Hopgood. He's going to try to make the pass as well, but what about up front there, Jerry?
Speaking of trying to make a pass, a minute ago, it looked like he had the pass made. We're talking about the car number 24, Mickey York, but just a lot of horsepower from Maxie Bush to pull him off the corners. Bush's car slipping up a little bit coming out of turn 2. Mickey York trying to get a move. Now Bush pulls him by about 2 car lengths on those back straightaways.
Yeah, he has some horsepower. There's no doubt about it. I think he has a little bit of a horsepower advantage, or it looks like it, as he gets on the straightaways. But certainly Mickey York is giving him all he wants. A lot of pressure there, but Maxie Bush has stood up to it.
We mentioned Mickey having won the last 2 events of the first 4 in 1993. He had 4 poles and 8 victories in 1992. Talking about Mickey York driving that white number 24.
That was well of an average in 14 races.
Boy, when you win 8 of 14 and he led a ton of laps last year, little wonder he won the championship. Good battle back here between Danny Bagwell's car number 10 and the Apple Juice Machine, car number 41, the Pontiac Grand Am, as they're waving the yellow flag once again. Caution being waved in the field for the 6th time.
Well, evidently there's some debris, Jerry. Maybe I don't see any cars spun around.
And the car number 26 apparently has erupted an engine. Danny Schnell bringing out the caution flag in his car. Apparently there was some oil on the speedway, so they wanted to make sure they were able to get the track nice and dry. Let's check in the pits with Benny Parsons.
Jerry, what a break that was for Ernest Winslow. He made a pit stop on the last caution flag, raised the hood, and in fact they were on 3 cylinders. One of the spark plug wires had popped off. They plugged it back on. He went on 4 cylinders, and the car's running well, but he was right in front of the leaders. The caution flag came out. He was able to go all the way around the racetrack, make up almost a half lap. Great break.
And look at the front of Ernest's helmet there. It says Oink. You wouldn't guess he was a pork farmer, would you? He's a 1983 graduate of North Carolina State University in field crop technology. The crop he's been growing is something that you and me, Ned, and John, and Benny, and a lot of us like, and that's pork.
Yep. Well, I grew up on the farm, so I learned to like it at an early age.
Benny's up there in his pits trying to ham it up a little bit.
Trying to see if he can get some ham. And the 3rd place car of Crenshaw is coming into the pits. George Crenshaw into the pits.
Under the caution flag for the 6th time today at Martinsville Speedway. Back with more Goodys Dash Series competition after this. And he came down pit road for fuel only.
Yeah, George Crenshaw came in the lap before, so he's at the back of the pack as well. He was running in 3rd place. Of course, Maxie Bush was leading the race. So, yes, they've taken on the fuel. Should be able to go the rest of the way. Also in was the car number 41 of Johnny Smith and the car number 68, Ernest Winslow. So they should have enough fuel now to make it the rest of the way. Mickey York decided to stay out there. Will Hobgood now has moved up into 2nd.
And the car number 2, Scott Weaver, is 3rd. 6 caution flags thus far in less than 70 laps. Glad to have you with us here on a beautiful afternoon at Martinsville, Virginia. Pontiac Trans Am, that new safety car, pulls away, and green flag once again being waved by Jimmy Howell.
I expect Mickey York will be able to pull away pretty handily here. However, Will Hobgood has been battling, trying to get by some of the traffic back there. Track position is so important here. He might be able to run with him. I thought for a moment that York might be able to just pull away because the cars that he was battling with made those pit stops, so they're pretty far back in the field.
And we are told they're going to black flag the car number 22, and he does head down pit road. Let's show you why Maxie Bush received the black flag. He brings the car down pit road for a stop and go.
Uh-oh, he came over the line. That's going to really cost him when he came in, but here's
apparently jumped the restart a little bit.
And he has gone a lap down, Jerry. When he came into the pits for his stop and go, he went over the line, had to back up, and they still held him, I guess, 15 seconds. And so he is a lap down now.
So the early leader, Maxie Bush, made a pit stop but then had problems on the restart. Fourth, fifth, and sixth. Danny Bagwell in the car number 10 gets a challenge from Mike Swaim in the Mopar Dodge. Mopar-sponsored Dodge Daytona, and Swaim in the car number 21 pulls to the inside, takes the spot away. That'll be the 5th position.
Rodney Orr was running up there in the top 5, but he has slowed dramatically on the racetrack. In fact, he's over a half a lap behind the leaders right now, so I don't know what his problem is, but I beg your pardon, that car number 9 is still running up there. I had it mixed up with 19, Jerry. I apologize for Rodney Orr. It was car number 19 that was running real slow. He's had several calls here this afternoon.
And here's the battle again between the car number 11 and 10 and 12. Car number 12 is Stanton Barrett, son of Stan Barrett, former stunt driver and rocket car driver. Car number 11 making a move inside. That's the efforts of Mike Watts. And here's Johnny Chapman in the car number 44. Former series champion, 1991 champion to be exact of the Goodys Dash Series. They all are moving by the car number 10 of Danny Bagwell. Mickey York, the Cobra Electronics Pontiac. He is the leader. Mickey York's been racing Dash since 1977. Some 16 years in this series.
And here is the car number 9 now moving into 3rd place. So Rodney Orr on the move, involved earlier in a crash down in turn 1. He made several pit stops during the caution, pulled that sheet metal away that you can see is gone from the right front. Car really working well for him. Now the car number 2 of Scott Weaver has slowed going into turn 1. Scott still being shown in the 4th place, but he is definitely off the pace.
Here's a serial on Rodney Orr. You saw where he'd moved from his starting spot up now into the 3rd position. Here's the car number 2. Slowing, that's Scott Weaver from Shelby, North Carolina, the Bullfrog-sponsored Chevrolet. His engine's prepared by his dad, Floyd Weaver. Significantly off the pace, and right in front of him, also off the pace, is Danny Bagwell. So 2 of the cars in the top 5 in the last lap and a half have had their problems.
Yeah, Danny just slowed very much coming up. And car number 44 is headed into the pits as well. That's Johnny Chapman, former champion of this series, Benny Parsons.
Hey, Ned, I tell you, these guys are really taking a chance. Mickey York decided to stay out, hoping for a caution flag. He can go about 100 laps. But some guys like George Crenshaw pitted on that last caution flag, put some fuel in the car. Now he can go the rest of the way. Mickey York has to have a caution flag in the next, say 20 laps. If he doesn't get it when he makes his pit stop, he will go a lap down to somebody like Crenshaw. So right now, Mickey York, the leader, needs a caution flag desperately.
Good point. Here is Mickey York, just really motoring right on around here.
I talked to Billy Knight, who's the car owner and engine builder for Mickey York, and they were estimating they could run right at 100 laps. He said hopefully between 96 and 100 laps on that 8-gallon fuel cell. They get right about 6 miles per gallon, so that would put them right close to 100 laps here, or 50 miles on this racetrack.
Well, Jerry, we understand that Johnny Chapman, we saw him going to the pits there a few laps ago, that he did run out of gas, and that was at only about 80 laps. But, you know, some, of course, get better mileage than others.
There's Johnny Chapman, the 1991 Dash Series champion and runner-up a year ago. Hopes to run Winston Cup and Busch Grand National. As a matter of fact, he's already run one Winston Cup race this year, ran at Rockingham. Driving for Dick Bear in a Pontiac. Finished 35th there. Here's Mickey York.
Chapman says he has plans to run a few more Winston Cups, maybe even some good Busch Grand National Busch Series races this year. So his career may be headed in a good direction. Douglas and Sons of Statesville, North Carolina, has been very interested in Chapman.
Car number 42 apparently showing a little bit of smoke. Dan Cardis from Daytona Beach, Florida. PCI Cablevision Chevrolet. Taking a look out of the in-car camera aboard that Motorola car number 77, Larry Caudill. North Wilkesboro, North Carolina.
Wow, a lot of jockeying around in that group of cars. He's on the inside of the Johnny Smith car, number 41.
Larry Caudill, the winningest active driver in this series, has 28 career victories. Of course, Gene Combs, the winningest driver overall, was 60, but he doesn't drive in this series any longer.
See the 99 car of Sherry Blakely down on the inside. Sherry is being shown one lap down in 17th position. Currently 13 cars being shown on the lead lap.
Larry Caudill being shown in 11th position in the car you're riding aboard here in the Motorola sponsored machine. Taking a look at where your favorite driver running here as we approach the 100 lap mark. Ned mentioned still 13 cars in the lead lap. Danny Cardis, the last car on the lead lap. With 87 laps complete, gotta wonder, Ned, if possibly Mickey York hadn't wished he would have come down pit road during one of the previous caution flags and put a little fuel in.
His crew's got to be getting nervous here. He's coming through some heavy traffic right now, trying to build as much of a lead as he possibly can. So if he has to stop under green, then maybe he could get back out there and stay in the lead lap.
And one car spins.
Oh, he gets his wedge. He gets his wedge right here. And it's the fellow who might, well, he had gone a lap down. Maxie Busch, who had been leading this race earlier, spins down on the grass. And so the caution will be out. Break for the leader, Mickey York. He'll get to make that pit stop under caution.
Maxie Busch loops it around down in turns 1 and 2, has the car stalled up on the grass. You're riding aboard the car of Ernest Winslow, the Ford Racing Chevrolet. Caution being shown for the 7th time today, and what a break for Mickey York out of Asheboro, North Carolina, the Cobra Electronics Pontiac.
And, of course, Will Hopgood has not stopped either, so this will be a break for him.
Mike Swaim in the pits with the hood up on that David Watson prepared car number 21. Swaim, a 2-time series champion. That's a Dodge Daytona.
He was running in 4th place, Jerry, and he's about to go a lap down.
The pits are open, and here come our lead 2 cars. Mickey York in the car number 24 and the 65 of Will Hopgood. Mickey's headed toward you.
Sure was a break for these 2 guys. And, you know, Hopgood had caught Mickey York, so we kept talking about Mickey York. He was in jeopardy of losing the lead. They're putting in 1 tank of fuel. They're looking at the tires. The tires look okay. It's full. And the way Mickey York goes, Hobgood's still sitting in the pits.
Well, they're changing tires on his car, Benny. That might be a real good piece of strategy as well, because most of the time in Busch competition and Winston Cup competition, new tires let you run faster. So maybe that's why he ran as long as he did. He'll have fresh tires on the right side. They better hurry, though, because the caution car is coming around turn 3 right now. So they need to get that work finished, and they do, and he heads back out.
And that's the rule here at Goodys Dash. You're allowed only 2 tires for the race. And now Will Hobgood has 2 fresh right side tires. Under caution once again at Martinsville Speedway. More after this. Racetrack and the race car, but Crenshaw is our leader. Car number 24, Mickey York in second spot, and Winslow is third. One driver who's having a good run today was in 4th spot until a few minutes ago, now stands with John Kernan.
Sure, we caught up with Mike Swaim, and they've got the car behind the wall. They're working on it. Did it just quit running on you?
No, well, we had carburetor failure. The carburetor and distributor, we're not sure which one, but it just broke on us.
At the beginning, Benny was talking about how you guys have been in this series for a while. This is a lot of fun for you, but this kind of takes the fun out of it, doesn't it?
Well, maybe it's like if you're playing golf and you get a thunderstorm or something, it sort of puts the end to a short day. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. It's a lot of fun. We're glad to be racing.
Mike Swaim, he can still smile about it, and I guess maybe he'll go look for some golf clubs now to finish out the afternoon.
Nice day for it. And here's a battle. Will Hobgood trying to come back up through the pack, really working on the car number 11. That's for 6th position that they're
That's Mike
fighting
Watts.
for.
That's Mike Watts out of Gainesville, Georgia, in the AW Sports Chevrolet, and they are battling side by side. And now Watts seems to slow a little bit here in the front straightaway. His car slowing drastically heading down to turn 1. There's Johnny Chapman going by, the car number 41 of Johnny Smith. Watts' car definitely not up to full speed a minute ago as Hobgood, and he were battling door to door now, and now he is way off the pace.
Yes, the car number 11 of Watts had been running up in the top 10 and the top 5 quite a bit this afternoon, but it looks like he is headed for the pits as we look at the lead here.
Mickey York trying to get a move to the inside. Crenshaw will slam the door shut up in turns 3 and 4. George Crenshaw, the pole sitter. The Campbell sponsored car, heading like a Campbell soup can. Right behind him, the Cobra Electronics Pontiac of Mickey York.
York acted like he wanted to look on the outside, but he knows that's not a very good place to pass here at Martinsville.
Less than 50 laps to go. It'll be 47 to go this time by. York tries it on the high side, brings the fans to their feet as he comes sliding by and will take the lead in turn 1.
So much for my theory, not a good place to pass on the outside. He just showed me exactly how to do it.
Boy, what horsepower. A lot of muscle in that car number 24, Mickey York. Car prepared by Billy Bird and Doug Richardson. Take a look at our AutoZone race recap. George Crenshaw was the leader until just a moment ago, had led 10 of 100 laps. 7 caution flags for 32 laps. There were 3 leaders, 3 different lead changes. Make that 4 lead changes now. Mickey York, the leader, average speed 62.953 miles per hour. Lap leaders, Maxie Bush, Mickey York, and George Crenshaw. Out of race, there are the 3 cars. The latest retiree you just heard a moment ago, John Kernan, talking to Mike Swaim, the former 2-time series champion. There's our leader, just having reassumed the lead from George Crenshaw, Mickey York, and he is pulled away now to a comfortable margin.
Yes, once he broke away, he just took off there. The car is really working well for him. Well, it's now that, wait a little, oh, the Kerry Earnhardt has spun again down on the inside of the racetrack. I saw York slow down, and all of a sudden Crenshaw was up there on him, but I see why now. Their spotters told him, hey, there's a spin down in turn 2. Kerry Earnhardt brought out the caution for the 3rd time.
What do you reckon the conversation is on the radio between Kerry and his dad, Dale? I imagine Dale's probably gotten a good chuckle with the young man. Really trying awfully hard today. We're under caution for the 8th time today at Martinsville Speedway. Back with more after this. Nice crowd on hand for what is a beautiful afternoon here in Martinsville, Virginia for NASCAR Dash Series competition on a cloud in the sky. Take a look at our top 5. Mickey York, 45-year-old veteran, currently our leader. George Crenshaw in 2nd, Ernest Winslow in 3rd, Rodney Orr is 4th, and Stanton Barrett Young 20-year-old driver in 5th position with 40 laps remaining. A minute ago, the caution brought out once again by the spin of Kerry Earnhardt, and he had trouble earlier in the day. And John Kernan, quickly, what was his problem?
Jerry, they bent some of the linkage on the right front, the steering linkage on the right front, so Kerry is having a hard time just keeping that car in a straight line. You know, talking to him this morning, he said probably the toughest thing about racing is his last name. His father, Dale Earnhardt, he has to live up to so many expectations. His wish is that just everybody would give him time to come along because he is relatively inexperienced.
But I'll tell you, the young man did a great job at Daytona. He finished 7th in his debut and already has an 8th place finish in Volusia County, so he's done pretty well here as we wave the caution once again, Ned.
For debris on the racetrack, Jerry. They only got one green flag lap of racing and caution out for the 9th time this afternoon.
And there's some debris that's come off one of the cars.
That's a strange looking piece, but I'm sure it worked somewhere on the car, but it doesn't look like it's anything that would keep it from running, whatever it is, but it is something laying on the racetrack, and certainly that's not the place for it.
Might have been some pork chops out of that pork car. Anyway, debris on the racetrack as we have the caution for the 9th time today, and they have all made their pit stops up front. Car number 24, Mickey York, trying to win his 3rd in a row. That would be his 23rd career victory if he were to pick up the win today in the Haynes 150. And there's Ernest Winslow, who was leading at Nashville, Tennessee. Had a chance to win that one until he had a problem up there. Trying to get a good finish here today. Back with more after this. 36 laps remain at Martinsville Speedway. Car number 24, Mickey York, showing as our leader. George Crenshaw in the car number 07 in second. Here's Ernest Winslow in the 68 car, looking from inside, getting a shot from Ernest Winslow's roof cab on that Chevrolet. He runs in 3rd position.
4th is the car number 9, and Mike Watts. And a battle for 5th as they come off of turn 3. It's the 65 car of Will Hopgood trying to move on the inside of Stanton Barrett. This is for 5th. And Hopgood makes the pass.
Hopgood in the Pro Cal sponsored car. It's a decal company sponsoring the current point leader, Will Hopgood, in a Pontiac. Mickey York pulling away now. About 6 or 7 car lengths over Ernest Winslow down in turn 1. There's Winslow and Crenshaw. Crenshaw the 2nd place car. Winslow is 3rd. Back and forth spot showing the car number 9 of Rodney Orr. Larry Caudill has fun taking a look from inside as he tries to loop it back around. It's far enough to get tagged. The car spins. Gets it back in gear, up to the gearbox. 3rd gear, down in 4th gear, wide open up the backstretch. And it looks like he will not lose a lap as he rides that car in a hurry.
He got it back going good, and here's a battle for 2nd. Looked like, well, the car number 68 has moved into 2nd. Here they come 3 abreast off of that turn for the 2nd position. Somebody will have to back off, and it looks like it'll be Crenshaw going into turn 1. Rodney Orr just drove runs down onto the turn and took over the 2nd position.
And Crenshaw trying to move to the inside of Winslow. They nearly touch in turn 3, or the car number 9 in 2nd spot. Winslow is 3rd, and Crenshaw is 4th.
Now coming up behind them in a hurry is Will Hopgood. Once he moved around Stanton Barrett, he has moved in on that threesome. He is running in the 5th position. Mickey York has just run away. He's done the race all by himself out there.
Looking from inside Larry Caudill's seat. Now Caudill in the car number 77 is showing in 9th position. Watching the battle up in front of him, actually for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Caudill has now gone a lap down.
Mickey York, the leader, he has moved away by about 15 car lengths. There's the battle we're watching. The car number 9 is 2nd spot. Rodney Orr. Then comes Winslow, then Crenshaw, the car number 07, and now, as you said, Ned, Will Hopgood has caught that back.
Yes, he has a fast race car. He's the only one of the top 5, Jerry, that changed tires during the pit stop. He put on right side tires. Seems to be working well for him. And here he comes. He gets on the inside as Crenshaw slipped a little bit. Hopgood took advantage of it and moves into 4th.
Hopgood is coming toward the front. Fresh right side tires. Everyone else took fuel only. And the tires really starting to show the difference here for Will Hopgood.
Yeah, they could really make the difference in these last 25 laps.
That's Ernest Winslow's in-car camera. Looking out the back window, you see Hopgood coming as they head into turns 1 and 2. Hopgood, you can see visibly cutting the distance in half now in less than a half a lap.
And the car is just getting such good traction coming off the turns, and of course that's what new tires will do for you. That's what you want on a track like Martinsville.
Black flag being given to the car number 3, Kerry Earnhardt. A little bit of smoke coming from beneath that Max Race Cars machine, so he will head to pit road, and more smoke coming from Fleet Cruz. But good battle on the racetrack. There's Ernest Winslow in car number 68.
George Crenshaw has slowed very dramatically. He was running in the 5th position, now loses that as Stanton Barrett goes around him. So Crenshaw down on the inside of the racetrack on the front straightaway as we watch this battle down in turns 1 and 2 for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Crenshaw totally out of the picture. And the car 02 as well, going very slowly down on the inside of the track. Fleet Cruz, he's headed into the 5th on the backstretch.
Understand a blown engine in the car number 07 of George Crenshaw. A tough break for him as he was hoping to have a good finish in the point standings. Rodney Orr now in 2nd spot. Ernest Winslow is 3rd, but they both know that Hopgood is less than 2 car lengths away in the 4th position. The 65 car, Will Hopgood, our current point leader.
See how good that car comes off the turn. He was about a car length behind Winslow going into turn 3, but just ran in and got a nose up on him coming off of turn 2. Now here he's trying to get a nose under there. They touch a little bit coming off the turn. As we look out the rear window of Winslow's car, they're coming up on the Crenshaw car coming off the turn. He's still going slowly around the track trying to pick up as many points as he can. Now they caught the 9 car. The 68 goes on the inside a bit. Will he make it? Whoa, wow, he went in there hard. It looked like he was going to have to lean on the Orr car going into the turn, but they made it.
And here's Winslow once again on the inside, right in front of Hopgood. Will Hopgood, already a winner once this year in 1993, won at Daytona.
Now he's going to try Winslow on the outside while Winslow tries Orr on the inside.
A little bit of smoke coming out of the rear of the car number 9 that time in turn 1. Maybe tire smoke from the Rodney Orr machine. Orr has got a rear view mirror full of Ernest Winslow and Will Hopgood. Good battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And that threesome are also beginning to move in somewhat on Mickey York, our leader.
Yeah, they're certainly not losing any ground to him, even as the way they're racing. Here comes Winslow up on the inside. He might have a run on him going into turn 3, but they're coming up on Big Crenshaw, and he's down on the bottom groove, and that's going to knock him out of that. The yellow flag is waving. Car number 77, Larry Caudell, is spun again down in turns 1 and 2.
Caution once again for a heck of a battle up there, and they trying to go around the George Crenshaw car. And caution now being shown for the 10th time today. Our leader, car number 24, Mickey York. Back with more after this. Stay with us. He may be a pretty good golfer, but not quite as good as Ben Crenshaw. George Crenshaw on the 07 down pit road. As we are back to green flag racing, and now what a battle up front. The leaders able to move in now on Mickey York by virtue of the caution flag, but York now reestablishes about a 4-car length lead.
And here's Winslow resuming that battle with the 4 car, and they battle side by side off of turn 4. They touch a little bit. Now Will Hopgood didn't get a very good start, but boy, he has caught him in a hurry. He is in 4th place. We were watching that 3-car battle before the caution came out, and here's Winslow once again coming up on the inside. I think the tires are absolutely gone on the car number 9 of Mike Watts. And in fact, he loses his 2nd position, and here comes Hopgood down on the inside.
That's Rodney Orr in the car number 9.
Boy, I get them all mixed up.
Rodney Orr loses the spot. And Winslow slipping and sliding. You heard the wheels squealing on that car appropriately in the port machine as he loses a couple of spots. And Rodney Orr takes the 2nd spot, but now Will Hopgood finally able to get by traffic. Contact out of turn 4 between Orr and Winslow as they battle side by side for a 3rd spot. Hopgood has moved away in the 2nd position, and once again they are still side by side in turn 1 and 2.
And here they're only about 11 laps to go when they come back Mickey York has moved out to a good lead over Hopgood. But we were commenting during the commercial that maybe Mickey York's tires are beginning to go away a little bit. We wonder if Hopgood might be able to catch him, but right now he's about a little over 2.5 seconds behind. He's really going to have to do some driving.
Take a look at Ernest Winslow. He has his hands full in that car, back and forth like he's swatting flies inside the cockpit of that machine, car number 68. He's trying to hold on to the third spot, and looks like Rodney Orr will take the spot. Here comes Stanton Barrett in the car number 12. The True Value Oxford 250 sponsored Pontiac.
Evidently the tires are just worn out on both of those cars. The car number 9 of Rodney Orr and the Ernest Winslow car. Hopgood is pulled away from him. And he is gaining a little bit on the leader, but I don't think he has enough time to catch him. He's about 2 3/10 seconds behind right now. He has picked up a little bit, but I just don't believe that he has enough time in the laps we have remaining.
9 laps to go. Mickey York is pulled away by some 15 car lengths over Will Hopgood. There is York coming out of turn 4. Here is Hopgood in the black car. The third place machine would be the car number 9 of Rodney Orr. Then comes Ernest Winslow in 4th, and Stanton Barrett is in 5th position. Whoa, hello, Wall. He's looking
fighting that steering wheel. He went very high in the turn, lost another position as the car number 12 of Stanton Barrett went around the Winslow car.
Amazing, he can just hold on to that race car. You see it slipping and sliding in the corners. Talking about Ernest Winslow in the car number 68.
Hopgood has got another couple of tenths of seconds off of the lead that Mickey York has, but he doesn't have enough time.
7 laps to go. You're riding with Scotland Neck, North Carolina driver Ernest Winslow with his in-car looking at the back of Stanton Barrett's car number 12. One of the David Watson prepared machines out of Boone, North Carolina.
Hopgood picks up another 2 tenths of a second on the last lap, but he just simply is going to run out of time before he runs out of real estate.
That's the 4th and 5th place cars there you're looking at. Winslow once again, slick tires and all, tries to make a run on Stanton Barrett. Can't quite make it stick. Winslow had an 8th place finish at Daytona. He finished 18th at Nashville. He was leading when he blew an engine up there. Mike Swain went on to win by a couple of laps. Show you where he is in relation to our leader, Mickey York, who just went by. And there are the 4th and 5th place cars. Car number 12 of Barrett and Ernest Winslow in 68.
Hopgood has cut the lead down to 1 6/10 seconds. He is gaining at least 2 tenths of a second a lap on the leader, Mickey York. But again, time is going to run out. I'll tell you, I'm impressed with Winslow. He has done a great job of just, well, maybe got a little close right there. They touch and Stanton Barrett spins. Caution will be out.
For the 11th time today. And here's the leader. Car number 24, the Pontiac Trans Am safety car, pulls right up in front of the leader coming in turn 3. That's Mickey York.
Stanton Barrett got his car back out on the racetrack. He's going to stay in the lead lap. And there are only...
They're giving him 1 to go, Ned. It'll be green next time by.
Okay, it'll be green and white, won't it?
Looks like it'll be 148 laps complete. It'll be green and white flag next time by. Replay once again from the in-car camera of Ernest Winslow.
Well, he caught Barrett going into the turn. Barrett went a little bit high, and he drove hard in there, and they touched. And he did a great job of, Winslow did, of keeping the car under control and continuing on. Here it is again. You see him go down on the inside. And just simply going too fast with those slick tires, and they touch, and around Barrett goes. Barrett stayed in the lead lap, however.
Good job by Stanton Barrett. He couldn't let the car slide up into the wall. They will get the green and the white flag this time from Jimmy Howell. White flag, final lap of competition in the Haynes 150. Mickey York trying to hold on, make it 3 in a row. There's Will Hopgood jumping into throttle out of turn 2. He has a car length separation between himself and the lead car. The battle is for 3rd.
And here goes Winslow on the inside of the Orr car, takes over 3rd, and here comes Hopgood sideways spinning the wheels, but he can't make the pass.
Mickey York takes the victory. Hopgood 2nd. Ernest Winslow takes 3rd. Rodney Orr is fourth, and in fifth position
Would be the car number 25, I believe, of Lee Farthing.
Lee Farthing is in fifth. Mickey York, winner of the Haynes 150. And a little bit of discussion going on there between the car number 12 of Stanton Barrett and Ernest Winslow. Ernest Winslow and Barrett coming together with a couple laps to go, and Barrett's car, who was running in fourth position, ends up spinning. Winslow will take the position. He ends up finishing in third position. So the Haynes 150 is history. Mickey York will go to victory lane. We'll be back to Martinsville, Virginia to hear from the winning driver after this. By Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by your local Yamaha dealer, who invites you to see their exciting lines of motorcycles, ATVs, and water vehicles. Well, Mickey York climbs out of that Cobra Electronics machine, and Benny Parsons is there. BP.
Hey, Mickey, you came out for a Saturday afternoon golf game. I think you broke par this afternoon, about 6 under.
We had a real good run, Benny. Those guys just keep giving me a better and better car, and they know what I need, and it's right scary sometimes. You know, they just adjust the car to me, and the car stayed there all day. We were afraid we'd have to change tires, but it didn't look like new tires picked them up much, so we decided to stay with the old ones.
You told me before that this car is 7 years old. You ought to know what he wants by now.
Well, yeah, but it was a little temperamental for a while, and I guess I was too. Maybe I've got a little bit better with the car.
Go on from here. Is this the only race car you have?
No, we have a car that we run at Daytona on the speedways. We have a new Pontiac Grand Am, but we don't bring it out to the short tracks. This one's been so good, we're afraid to give it up.
All right, one race car, and the guy who finished second today had a great run is with John Kernan.
Benny, I'm with Will Hobgood. Will, that was almost one of those car sideways, tires squealing, hair on fire finishes. That was a great finish.
Yeah, we had to give him a run there at the end. We had some fresh tires, but I just couldn't get by them cars right in front of us, them Rodney and the hog farmer. We couldn't get by him right there to start with, but after we got by him, we run Mickey down when he got in that traffic. And then when we got that caution, I thought maybe we could get him. But maybe if we'd had a couple more laps, I don't know. I want to thank Clyde Norwood, Steve Norwood, and PK, and all of them back there at Precision Engine. I tell you, they've done a great job. Gillen Materials, my sponsor. I don't know.
You're almost speechless now. Did you get everybody? Well, Jerry, we hope that Will got everybody in the second place finish today.
And what a job he did. Take a look at our full field rundown here. Mickey York, the winner. That was Will Hobgood you saw just moments ago. Ernest Winslow slipping and sliding his way to third spot. Rodney Orr finishes fourth, and Lee Farthing is in fifth.
And in sixth place is the car number 87 of Stephen Durham. Hadn't mentioned him much today, Jerry, but he had a very good run. Stanton Barrett came back to finish seventh in the lead lap, finishing eighth. Sherry Blakely one lap down. Johnny Smith was next.
See, Larry Caudle finished 11th, and Scott Weaver, Johnny Chapman. Maxie Bush, who was one of our early leaders, had problems, finishes 14th, and Danny Bagwell finishes in 15th position.
16th through 20th are Terry Earnhardt, George Crenshaw, Fleet Cruz, Donnie Neuenberger, and Mike Watts.
21 through 25, Mike Swain, Chris Brown, Rich Sink, Danny Snell, and Carl Jennings.
And bringing up the rear was Ben Duncan, who had some problems early in the race.
Well, this is the fifth race out of the 16-race season. Take a look at the point standings now for the Goodys Dash Series. Coming into this event, Will Hobgood was the point leader by 11 points over Mickey York, and he will hold that margin now by a slim 1-point margin. Mickey York is second, Larry Caudill third, Sherry Blakely fourth, Rodney Orr in fifth position. Lots of racing action to come. The Haynes 500 Monday night at 7:30 p.m. from Martinsville, Virginia, here in Martinsville Speedway. Mark Martin, the defending series champion of that event. And, of course, Jeff Bodine has picked up his 7th career pole at Martinsville Speedway, going for win number 5. He will lead the charge alongside McDonald's Ford driver Hut Strickland at 7:30 p.m. on Monday night. Ned, should be heck of a show.
Oh, it's always a great race here at Martinsville. Plenty of action, and you can expect plenty of it in this race.
Once again, we congratulate Mickey York out of Asheboro, North Carolina, on his win today. For John Kernan, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, I'm Jerry Punch saying once again congratulations to Mickey York, and so long from beautiful Martinsville Speedway.